Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome to Embodied Living, the space where we get real, raw, and radiant as fuck. And today's episode, number 1, we're getting started. It's a tender one, powerful, personal. And we're going to be talking about what it means to truly live like a woman. And we're starting with a video that had me shouting no at the beginning in frustration and yes at the end with joy. So let me just walk you into this a little bit. There's a video, may not have seen it, it's called Like a Girl. And it starts with people being asked to run like a girl, throw like a girl, fight like a girl. And they act weak, clumsy, small. But then they ask young girls the same thing, and suddenly everything shifts. They run hard, they punch strong, they move from confidence. That's when it hit me. At some point, we're taught that being a girl, being feminine, is something for us to shrink. And beautiful, that story sticks, right? Who hasn't felt that when we were younger or even now? Now it's time for us to shake it loose. So here we go. I'm going to share the video with you and we'll have a little discussion after.
Hi, Erin. Hi. Okay, so I'm going to just give you some actions to do and just do the first thing that comes to mind. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl. Aww.
My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
Is like a girl a good thing?
Actually, I don't know what it really, if it's a bad thing or a good thing. Sounds like a bad thing. Sounds like you're trying to humiliate someone.
So when they're in that vulnerable time between 10 and 12, how do you think it affects them when somebody uses like a girl as an insult?
I think it definitely drops their self-confidence and really puts them down because during that time, they're already trying to figure themselves out. And when somebody says you hit like a girl, it's like, well, what does that mean? Because they think they're a strong person. It's kind of like telling them that they're weak and they're not as good as them.
And what advice do you have to young girls who are told they run like a girl, kick like a girl, hit like a girl, swim like a girl?
Keep doing it because it's working. If somebody else says that running like a girl or kicking like a girl or shooting like a girl is something that you shouldn't be doing, that's their problem. Because if you're still scoring and you're still getting the ball on time and you're still being first, you're doing it right. It doesn't matter what they say. I mean, yes, I kick like a girl and I swim like a girl and I walk like a girl and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that's not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm going to do it anyway. That's what they should do.
If I asked you to run like a girl now, would you do it differently?
I would run like myself.
Do you like a chance to read it?
Yeah.
Why can't run like a girl also mean win the race?
So, how wonderful was being able to see that? Put your comments down, please. I think it's such an important and powerful message. that we need to be aware of when we are speaking to our daughters, our nieces, even our nephews and sons. We need to speak to this more. The fact that the only difference in what we would consider maybe running or hitting properly or fighting properly, as that is the idea of the male, correct, is that it's practice. It's what they were taught. I taught my kids how to throw a ball, and I'm still just as much a woman. But let's fast forward a bit here to womanhood, and the narrative doesn't change. It just gets sneakier. Like a woman becomes too emotional, too loud, too sexual, too dramatic, too ambitious, too much. And we start performing instead of embodying. We harden, we quiet our intuition, we numb ourselves. And because being a woman, a real woman in this world, right, often feels like a damn tightrope. But I want to say this clearly. It is not your job to be palatable. It is your right to be powerful. So let's take a moment here and just speak to emotional intelligence for just a moment. What exactly is it? Well, it's basically 4 things. Self-awareness, which is knowing what you feel and why, paying attention to what's happening within your body, within your mind. It's self-regulation, being able to sit with the emotion instead of reacting to it. So I have often taught along the lines of being in the emotion. They last about 60 to 90 minutes. Be in it, experience, but you are not reacting to it. You're just being in it. Then there's empathy, feeling with others instead of just for them. And then the social skill, communicating in a way that connects, not controls, right? So who's really more emotional, men or women? And surpriser, it's not what the patriarchy told us. Here's the real deal, ladies. All humans are emotional. The difference lies in how we're allowed or not allowed to express those emotions. So let's take a look here. The men, the emotionally repressed volcano, right? Society says men should be strong. What does that really mean? Stoic, unemotional, logical, realistic? But repressing emotions doesn't mean they don't feel them. It means they often bypass them until they erupt like a freaking emotional volcano, right? So punching walls, road rage, screaming at the TV when their team loses, breaking things during arguments, right? Here's an example, and I must say I've been through this one a lot with my ex-husband and other men that I know. You ever seen a grown man scream at a TV over a football game? That's not logic. That's just raw emotion wrapped in a jersey and beer foam. But they're reacting to the raw emotion. Do they feel it deeply? Absolutely. They just get cultural permission to show anger and competitiveness. But they're not allowed to show the fear, sadness, or vulnerability, right? Unless, of course, it's a country song. Then they get to cry all over their truck. Right, ladies? How many of us have been through that, where we're yelled, screamed at, and it's totally acceptable for them to live outside of emotional intelligence, right? Now let's go to the women. We're the actual emotionally illiterate ones. Well, most of the time, we do have our moments, right? We are typically socialized to feel and express emotion, right? But we're only allowed to show them in ways that are acceptable. We can cry, sure, but be angry, be bold, be too excited, confident, wild. Nah, we get called crazy, too much, unstable. So we feel, but we're also policed. We're told our emotions are a problem, a performance, a weakness. But guess what, ladies? We are often the more intelligent beings. We are wired for this. Why? Because we're used to identifying and naming emotions. Yeah. Reading social cues, empathizing, not because we're biologically more emotional. We've shown that's not true. But because we've been conditioned to carry everyone else's emotions plus our own. We just forgot because we've been taught to numb, suppress, or dismiss our feelings as weakness. But in truth, feelings are the bridge to our power. All right, so I've got to confess something to you ladies. For a long time, I wore the crown I didn't even know I was wearing. I am the queen of people pleasing. I was. I think that if you go back over the last 30 years until probably the last 2 years, you would see this. I made everyone else more important than me. My kids, my then husband, my family, friends, everybody. If I were happy, I thought, wow, I must be happy too, right? If they're happy, I'm happy because they're getting everything they need and want. If they were comfortable, calm, proud of me, then I was doing life right, right? But here's the thing. People pleasing is just fear in a pretty dress. Fear of rejection, fear of being too much, fear of not being enough. And beautiful, I was running my whole damn life through the filter of other people's approval. I can't tell you how many times I said yes when I meant no. I held my breath in conversations just to keep the peace. I dimmed my joy, my sensuality, my ideas. Also, I wouldn't make them uncomfortable. And for a while, I was the easy one, the low maintenance one, the always there for you girl. But inside my body, inside my mind, was exhausted, disconnected. I was performing my life. I wasn't living it. I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I didn't have boundaries. And then one day I looked around and realized everyone else was happy except me. My depression was getting worse. I was sleeping more. I was fatigued. My energy was low. I was tired. I had built a beautiful life that didn't even belong to me, to who I was or what I really wanted. It was custom made for everyone else's comfort, convenience, and expectations. I didn't want to burn it all down. I just wanted to find me inside of it. And so I started realizing that I needed to go from pleasing others to embodying who I am. And that's when the real work began. And this happened after my divorce. So this has been a journey now for about 4 years or so for me. And it's when the work began. I started getting into my body, feeling my own needs, sitting with the discomfort of not being liked. And I'll tell you, that is a really tough one for me. Not being chosen, being misunderstood. And do you know what I found? I started finding freedom. I started not worrying if I wasn't liked. It didn't change who I was. And I didn't worry about being liked by the wrong people anymore. It was about me. Who are my people? Who am I supposed to be around? Me choosing who is best for me. Not being someone I'm not. Me not worrying if I was misunderstood because that was on them, not me. When you stop trying to be everyone's favorite, you finally have space to become your own damn self. And that is what embodied living is all about. And that's why I created Embodied Living, an 8-week program. So, ladies, what if living like a woman meant moving with intuition, speaking with softness and fire, claiming your pleasure, honoring your emotional body like the temple it is? This is the essence of my program, Embodied Living. Each week we reclaim a layer from free to freedom, shame to sensuality, exhaustion to embodiment. We're going to be using tapping, meditation, and body-based practices to come home to ourselves, not just as a woman, but as a whole being. Living from the body, not for approval, not for perfection, but for truth. Coming home to ourselves. So, the next time someone says you're doing it like a woman, you say, why, thank you. I worked hard to get here. And if you're ready to reclaim the wild, wise woman inside you, Embodied Living is currently open. Come home, beautiful. The body doesn't lie. And now just take a very grounded, deep breath. In through the nose. Hold it. And as you let go, I honor the woman I'm becoming. She is already inside me. She is rising. Look forward to connecting on our next episode of Embodied Living. And I will put information below regarding the Embodied Living program if you'd like to learn more about that and fill out an application to be part of it. Have a pleasurable day.